Hello, 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 everyone. Back, lucky enough, with some more Horizon Zero Dawn. And last time we did the Curse of Darkness main mission where we had to go hack a module on top of a dilapidated tall neck that had been taken apart. And we ran into Hades, and Aloy, for whatever reason, kept having spats with this Silence dude. Which, honestly, she feels a little awfully written with him. To me personally, I don't know. Just the sass kind of came out of nowhere. Although, even if there is some validity to it. Then we headed towards Sunfall in order to get into ruins that are buried underneath the Shadow Karja city of the same name. But we ended up getting sidetracked with a new side mission, or new sequences of side missions. And the last one we did was Trader's Bounty, where we had to stop the killing of a now turned former Shadow Karja who had been framed for murder. And now we have to help this person, what's her name? Vanasha, who I think was a handmaiden of the Queen, and Edaman, who is the younger brother of Avad. We have to try and spirit them away from Sunfall back to Meridian because they're sick of being propped up by what? Sorry. Because they're sick and tired of being propped up by, well, a shadow government, more or less. Wink, wink. So, we gotta go talk to this Wadif person. And I also finally found a goose to fully upgrade the last pack until I get another one. If there is another one, I don't know. Where am I going? I could just go through here. Why go around the long way when I could just cut through this crevice? I wonder if this was Wadiv's handiwork. Probably. Free shards, can't complain. And a glass. He's right around here, actually. Bodies keep piling up. That must be him. Oh, he looks wounded, though. That can't be good.
Good meat.
Three-toed Wadiv.
You're three-toe Wadiv, right? Vanasha sent me. What happened?
I got hornswoggled, that's what. Vanasha batted her lashes, wiggled her hips, and promised us treasure. Clear a path for the royals, she said. Sneak past the garrison and skewer a few watches. Hardly a bother. Little did we know there was a damned monstrosity lurking underground. When will I learn not to gawk at skinny girls?
It's a rock biter, isn't it?
Why do you think Vanasha swindled you?
My crew came to Sunfall because we heard the bounties were fat. She offered us the fattest one of all, enough to retire on. It's my own damned fault for taking the bait. Should have known I'd end up with a rupture in my useful parts.
Whoops.
So Vanasha needed safe passage for Nasadi and Itamen, but it didn't work out?
She made it sound so sweet and easy. Find the best path to the lake, make sure it's safe. What could go wrong? Turns out, a lot. Like bloody murder in the grinding jaws of a heinous death beast.
It's a rock eater.
Something attacked you from underground.
Oh, you picked that up, did you? I wondered why the Shadow Kaja didn't pay attention to the pass. Well, they don't need to. A rock-eating demon guards it for them. It tunnels in the dirt, breaks through the earth, and blasts rocks from its stinking face. I barely escaped. My comrades weren't so lucky. I might shed a tear if they weren't all cutthroats and cheaters.
What is with his accents, by the way?
Vanasha will be here soon with Nasadi and Itamen. I've got to destroy that thing in the pass before they arrive.
You're not too bright, are you? Well, we didn't last long against it, but I'll tell you what I know. It has armor everywhere, a little less at the rear. And when it goes underground, it will lose track of you if you're quiet. You might
Really?
even be able to keep it from going under altogether if you hit its big crooked arms hard enough. That's all I can offer, friend. I promise to look solemn at your funeral before I hit the bar.
Okay, so he gave me some new tips on how to tackle rock eaters. Try not to move, which honestly sounds like suicide, and shoot the hands off in order for it to sabotage its digging capabilities. I'd further consult the catalog, but because I kept dying repeatedly and not fully scanning the damn thing, I don't know what to do, other than what he just said.
They saw me. This is it.
All machines cataloged. Okay, what is it weak against? Weak to freeze, tear, everything else. The ranged attack. And the fuel sack. Slingshot. Really? That's all this thing gives? Handling, tear, freeze. Okay, that was funny. Stupid, but funny. I did not want that. Broke a bunch of... No, it's just a bunch of corpses. More bodies.
Got one.
Okay, so now I know what to do for when I face the corrupted ones later. Way later. Rock breaker. Rock breaker, not rock eater. Whoops. Light misspelling on my part. Misremembering.
By the radiant sun, I can't believe it.
Take it easy, what Eve?
I thought that evil rock chewer would grind you up. After that miracle, all we can do is wait. Vanasha will be here soon, along with a boat that'll take the royals across the lake.
There's gonna be a problem, isn't there? Or maybe not.
Ah, little huntress. Glad you accepted my invitation to play bodyguard. Where are your men, Huadiv? It looks like something chewed you up and spat you out.
That's pretty much exactly what happened.
The way is clear. Can we go?
I like how you always cut to the chase. In this case, literally. It won't be long before you're followed. Don't be afraid, Your Radiance. We've got excellent protection.
Damn, Vanasha's ripped. Uh-oh.
Oh dear. Here come the Shadow Carter, and they're very angry with me.
I'll hold them off.
Very noble of you, but when I start a fuss, I like to finish it. Not that your assistant isn't welcome. Huadiv, get Itaman and his mother to the shore. Carefully.
I'm surprised they even managed to sneak out of the palace in general.
So it comes to this. I must say, after 2 years under the heel of these zealots, I'm ready to extract a little blood.
There will be blood indeed. Hold on a second. Let me bring the video up, cause comment. Wait. Hold it. Video up, cause. Hey, almost done. Not really. Well, with this quest anyway, so I'll likely head back to the next main story as soon as this is finished. So as far as this quest is concerned, it might end up being earlier than I thought. But I still have time for another main mission anyway.
Some traps would be nice.
Traps, she says. Where is it? Traps. There it is.
Shall we prepare a little surprise for them? Are you sure you don't have any traps, little huntress?
For later.
Take cover up there, behind that rock. Here they are. Let's make it hurt, shall we?
Righty then. Here they come.
Well, that was entertaining, but I suspect we're not done. More of the bastards. Get ready.
And they got watchers with them. Corrupted ones.
Back down, now! They're not bad, but... Well now, seems I worked up a bit of a sweat. I don't want to jinx it, but we might be in the clear. A bit late, aren't we, gentlemen?
Sorry, ma'am. The boat's waiting.
Damn, I spoke too soon.
This one's mine. Get to the boat.
You know, this time I think I might be out of my league. If anything happens to her, I will be very cross.
We're not going anywhere.
Did they get a Thunderjaw? They did. A very, very, very corrupt Thunderjaw. Okay, time to switch to, where is it? Ropecaster. Remind myself. I'm so glad the catalog exists. Because it's hard to remember sometimes. Blaze is on the back, but that's always the hardest to hit. Freeze canister in the chest. Power cells in the tail. Bye. Woo! That took a lot of ropes, but it worked out. Even withstood the cannon, the disc launcher rounds. So much for the Karja spearmen. They got fucked. Not much I could have done about them.
I'll tuck that away.
There was a... We go to the camp so I can get the remaining bits of stuff that was there. I knew they were gonna bring out the big guns, just didn't know what.
I'd have to leave something else behind.
Alright, let's go talk to the Queen and younger King. And he's likely not gonna be king anymore by the time they get back to Meridian. Avad will be top dog. Just let the kid be a kid. Let him rule when he gets older. If he's up to it. Oh, they're alive again somehow. Or maybe they were the whole time and I never noticed. Or they responded.
Not exactly a royal barge, is it? Oh well, defectors can't be choosers. Let's get aboard, shall we?
We'll be back. Just have to escort the Royal Majesty.
You've done a good thing. Maybe even ended a war.
Maybe. But my war just keeps going.
And the Eclipse are still active, so we still have to deal with them. There's the man himself.
Edaman, my brother, welcome home. You have nothing to fear. You are now under the protection of the Sundom. My protection. As is your mother, She will not be harmed. You have my word. The law of the sun. Aloy, it seems I see your influence everywhere. You've done so much for the Sundom, and it will always be appreciated. You have my thanks. May you walk in the light.
Appalling. I spent 2 years in the Forbidden West setting this up, and the redhead gets all the credit?
I'm still getting paid, right?
You'll be lucky if I let you live. I couldn't have done this without you. When we meet again, I'll give you a proper thanks. I promise.
I'm sure Avad will give you your due diligence, lady.
Letting the Oseram decide what to do with him. Take a look at these wares. Kill our Sun
Queen's
King.
Gambit finished. Sweet. That was a shorter quest than I imagined,
Good price.
considering that most of the side quests I've come across have spanned like an entire 2 states worth. Hunting grounds, don't care. Let me give stuff to the merchant. Charm. Aided the defectors. Yes.
You'll regret not stopping when you're in the thick of it.
Doesn't seem like there's much to do in this town anymore. Alright, so back to Sunfall and continue where we left off. So add to the title, I will. So, Queen's Gambit, and whatever the main mission's name was, which I stopped doing in order to do this. Come on, game, you've loaded harder stuff before. What was it? Deep Secrets of the Earth. Right? Alrighty. Okay then. So...
Won't find better wares.
Homesick.
Well, their high priest's dead, and their king and queen is gone. Not surprised nobody is throwing a riot yet.
Travel well.
Hell, they're all acting like they haven't even noticed. That's funny.
We'll never make it back to Meridian. Not without Ethermen to guide us.
Alright, so now we gotta go down the ledge like we were supposed to. damn thing uploaded it, right? Yep, it recorded. Now I don't have to worry about this anymore, except for the frozen wilds. Reminder. Body is freeze. Tear for the legs. Everything else is fair game. Okay.
Have faith, my friend.
Honestly, I don't see how standing still will be a benefit for the corrupted ones. I mean, you saw that, right? Like, I was standing still, recording him, and he went and got me anyway.
Starving was bad enough, but at least
The
we had our
balustrade.
Sun King to guide us.
It's a short drop from there.
What are the Carja without a Sun King?
Yep, we gotta go into the Coliseum. Somehow. Oh, right here. Where no one's looking. Somehow. Okay, just, a hop, stepping away. No. Ugh. Thought the game was gonna make me fall again. Like it's done several times now.
The other side of the tower. Look for a vent.
Not here. Just wanted to see if... yeah, I know it's right here, but I just wanted to take a look.
I see you've been here before.
Obviously. Now, it's very important that you hear what I'm about to say. I've shown you the way in, but this humble vent marks a point of no return. Before you descend into the depths here, you should be fully committed, equipped, and focused. No distractions. If you have errands to run, do them first or hold your peace. I won't tolerate whining. Is that clear?
You'll tolerate what I give you, Silence. I didn't ask you along for the ride.
Well, as far as I know, I've done pretty much everything except that, and I refuse to do that last corrupted zone without the special armor because of the freaking rock eaters or breakers or whatever the flip they're called. Breakers. Well, I guess we're not going into the Coliseum. Then again, I won't be surprised if I still do.
I'm heading down.
I've spent a lifetime trying to uncover the secrets of this world. Where the machines came from. How the old ones achieved such marvels only to fall into silence and death. A lifetime of failure, as year by year, decade after decade, I hit walls I could not break, doors I could never breach.
Hello.
Until a Nora huntress marched out of the savage east. And, voila, for her, all the deepest secrets of the earth were laid bare. I suspect you will have an easier time with this door than I did years ago.
Well, yeah, she's
for identiscan.
She's nearly genetically identical to the Sobek lady, so of
Genetic
course,
profile confirmed.
of course,
Entry
it's letting her in.
authorized. Malfunction. Malfunction. Malfunction.
Oh,
Malfunction.
Kidding me?
You don't hear me laughing.
Shut up. There's gotta be another way. Hey! Elizabeth Sobek here! Requesting access!
Access request acknowledged. Root command functions available. Do you wish to proceed?
I do! Get me through this door!
Analyzing. Primary access inoperable due to mechanical failure. Emergency venting procedure likely to circumvent blockage. Do you wish to proceed?
Yes.
Emergency venting authorized.
I underestimated you. So by now,
Uh-oh.
Everything.
that will draw attention. We won't have this place to ourselves for long now.
We? Last I checked, I was the one risking my life down here.
Yes, fine. Now will you please get moving? There's so much to learn in less time than I'd hoped.
I do not think the last power cell is in here. I checked. Double check. For anything, just in case. Deep secrets of the Earth. Yeah, as far as I know. Then we double check just in case. It was the first one was in the Prologue Ruin. Second one was in the All-Mother Temple, whatever it was. 3 was in the Pharaoh Tower, and 4 was in the Grave Hoard. So 5 is, yeah, it's in another one, not this one. Okay.
Welcome to Project Zero Dawn.
Zero Dawn. We found it.
Are you really so surprised?
Facility diagnostics detect multiple failures. Attempting repair.
So, what was this room?
An entrance hall, perhaps. Have a look around.
An entrance hall that has gone back to nature. And but surprisingly with enough power to last the last 30,000 years. Another incident from lounge staff. Subject, this morning's unfortunate incident with Dr. Popovich is another example of reception's need for additional support. We appreciate that Zero Dawn is an immensely complicated project, but as the staff who serve on the front line, we're tired of being neglected. As we have already requested, we need human translators, fluent in Polish, for example. Security staff who can subdue enraged embryologists, for example. And dermal sedatives to calm persons who are screaming in Polish while hurling chairs and vases at reception staff, for example. Yes, most of the candidates are reasonably calm and well-behaved, but we need help understanding the exceptions to that rule. Please respond. Embryologists. Like fetuses? Babies? So it is sounding like Zero Dawn is pretty much the librarian's plan from Halo. We need support too. From the reception staff to admin. Reception staff continues to require additional support managing 20 candidates when they arrive at the facility. Many are frightened or confused. Some are highly agitated. These are not the sort of persons who are accustomed to having information withheld from them. At minimum, we need human translators. The Lang box are not sufficient, and mild sedatives for the extreme cases. Any and all support would be welcome. Perhaps you could start by responding to one of these mails. So yeah, in Halo, when the Forerunners fired the Halo rings, the librarian took samples from every known species in the Milky Way, and after the Halos fired and cleansed the galaxy of all existing biomass that could feed the Flood, and the Flood perished, well, the ones that were not imprisoned anyway, they reseeded the Milky Way, and it seems that's what Horizon Zero Dawn seems to be. At least that's what it's hinting at anyway.
Please take a seat and wait for your name to be called. A selection of beverages and snacks are available.
A smaller room.
Soundproofing from lounge staff. Would it be possible to improve the soundproofing between VR1 and the lounge area? Most of the candidates stay quiet during the presentation, but the ones who scream or sob can be plainly heard by candidates waiting their turn in the lounge. Just a thought. Okay.
Please proceed into viewing room 1 for an important message regarding the purpose of your visit.
Yeah, if you could even call it a visit. This looks like it was the office for candidates. Kind of reminds me of the counting area for in UCF when I went. In University of Central Florida when I went. Restock or else. For the 5th time, please restock the lounge's selection of herbal teas. If I have to listen to one more egghead throw a tantrum because we're out of the organic cucumber mint or blackberry sage varietals. Is that even a word? I'm going to lose it. Please respond, and this time no tempest in a teapot or steep demand jokes, okay? I don't care much for tea anyway, so whatever. Not my thing. More of a coffee person.
Holographic theater.
CD01 data intact. Initiating playback.
Okay,
Welcome to Project Zero Dawn. I am General Harris, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff of the United States of America. I'm sure you've heard the rumors that Zero Dawn is a top-secret superweapons program, the technological miracle that will save us from the Pharaoh Plague. If Operation Enduring Victory can hold off the robots long enough. The reason I'm sure you've heard the rumors is that I'm the one who spread them. And they are all lies.
My costume's different.
Zero Dawn is not a superweapons program. And it will not save us. Nothing will save us. And here's why. By the time the glitch was noticed, it was already too late. Nothing could stop the Pharaoh Plague. Nothing can. Its robots will continue to replicate and devour the biosphere. Life on Earth will be destroyed. Our planet reduced to a barren sphere. Global extinction is inevitable. No matter how many we kill, the robots just keep exponentially making more. If we had their deactivation codes, we could shut them all down. The entire swarm. But since their cryptographic protocols use polyphasic entangled waveforms, cracking a code set would take half a century. At best, we've got 16 months. Not exactly what you'd call a survival option. The destruction of a biosphere is not the sort of apocalypse you can wait out in a fallout shelter or a space station. There will be no Earth left to reclaim. Just a lifeless, toxic rock with several million Pharaoh robots on it, hibernating. Waiting for something to eat. This is the horrible truth behind the lies of Operation Enduring Victory. My lies. Lies designed to inspire millions of innocents to sacrifice themselves in battle. Why? One reason. To buy time for you and the work you will do here. Zero Day. The day that life on Earth ceases to exist is coming fast. It cannot be stopped. The hope of Zero Dawn is that something new might come after. But I will leave it to Elizabeth Sobek to shine that thin ray of light into the darkness. Harris, out.
Yeah, it's just like the Flood. They won't stop until they've consumed everything.
doesn't make sense. Life on Earth didn't cease to exist.
He said it could not be stopped.
But it was. Somehow Elizabeth saved us. I've got to keep looking. Find out how she did it.
I'd also like to know why, out of all cutscenes in the game, this one decided to revert back to the default costume. Because I don't see any reason why it did. The bad news. Yup, that's what we just heard. Yeah, enduring victory was just to hold them off. Nothing else in this room. Just that glow panel.
Kestrels. They got in. Through the vents.
Let nothing stop you from learning the truth.
Spread out! If it moves, kill it!
What is this place? Tomb?
Dr. Suve.
I think there is some mistake. I don't understand why I was brought here. Why would you show me these things?
I know that there's already a lot to take in.
In the waiting area, I was seated with a Nobel laureate in biophysics and a monk, I think. He spoke neither English nor Mandarin. It is very strange. And General Harris? What was he talking about? The robot swarm, the Pharaoh plague? I understand it is terrible. But it really cannot be stopped? Why tell us this? There are people in Shanghai, my friends, my family. They have joined Operation Enduring Victory already. It is for nothing? We will all die?
We're going to be able to answer some of these questions.
I just want to know why I am here. It doesn't make sense to me.
You were brought here because of your skill set.
No, that can't be right. I am an art historian. I know Dutch masters, Japanese calligraphy, Gerhard Richter. What does that matter now?
You're gonna be here to be the kickstart for a reborn humanity.
What?
I wanted to stealth kill him, but it didn't work.
We're too close to let tribal primitives stop us now. The data points, what do they contain?
Okay. Do this again. Travis Tate.
Want to discuss?
Whew. So Mama, she was right.
Pardon?
My mother, she took her Bible real serious. Not just Texas Bible serious, Pentecostal serious. Favorite chapter? Revelations. Now, I didn't always understand her on account of all that speaking in tongues and such, but when she did use her words, it was always end times this and lake of fire that on account of sinful lifestyles. Speaking of which, mind if I smoke?
A tobacco cigarette.
Sorry, darling. My taste run classic. Compliments to your team tracked me down. Been a price on my head 18 months now. Sterling Malkeith was me, don't mind admitting. Been plenty of snakesters chasing the bounty, too. But I kept the zigging to their zag. How'd you finger me?
I believe Dr. Sobek listed you as an alpha candidate. Priority snatch and grab.
Always suspected she had a little thing for me. Hey, I don't suppose you got real coffee in this place? You know, blood coffee? Conflict cappuccinos?
Blood
Mr.
coffee.
Tate, I'm clearing you to proceed. Just go.
Alrighty then, that was something. Tom H. I have no idea.
It is accurate, yes. So these mechanical monstrosities, they don't just kill people. They feed off them? Not just people. All organic matter. Every living thing dissolved into nutrients. Millennia of evolution liquefied. The miracle of life reduced to bloody biofuel. In a word, yes. Who did this? Pharaoh? That asshole. Is he here? No, Doctor. Please, tell him Tom Pike wants a word. Now, get off! Get off! Doctor, please! You get Ted Pharaoh in here!
Pake. Oh, he's definitely British. Never heard that kind of a name before. Brad Andak.
Who previously worked for Pharaoh Automated Systems.
On the Chariot Line self-replication routines. I came here thinking this was a rendition. When your people took me, I thought, about time. I've been trying to swallow the guilt every day since...
Would you like to take a moment?
No, I really hoped Zero Dawn was a way to undo it all. My work. And I'm sorry to say I was ever proud of it, but Ted could really sell a concept, and in the labs, in the light of creation, that first test run, when you saw they understood their own structures, could rebuild themselves from memory and light, there were no limits. God, there were no limits.
Man's got to know his limitations. And just because you could, didn't mean you should. To quote both Dirty Harry and Ian Malcolm at the same time. Funny how that works. I already got the one in here, right? Yep, that one.
Let's cut the mystery. You're building a colony ship. It's obvious. And it's not gonna fly. I mean, literally. Remember the Odyssey? That multinational heap of space junk that's been in graveyard orbit since '57? That went nowhere real slow. And you have to get somewhere real fast. Do you have any idea the immensity of the challenge to prep a new colony ship in time?
To be clear, I'm not a worker on the project.
Do you even understand how few people it could save? The whole generation ship concept is not gonna happen. It's the first thing you'd abandon in favor of embryonics. For that kind of storage, we're talking a lot of bulk, a lot of power, a lot of resources. So even if you do it, even if you build it and point it at Sirius X, there's no room for people on that thing, all right?
If you could try to remain calm.
You people are crazy if you think you're getting off this rock. No one's getting off.
Medical.
That's the point. They didn't get off this rock. They stayed and died on it and left, embryonics. Took prime subjects.
Definitely awake now.
Wait, what's in here? Yeah, they took prime subjects to get the next generation of humanity going, and took samples from various people and animals. Captain Okilo.
I'm sure you now understand the urgency of why we brought you here, Ms. Okilo.
Captain Okilo, are you trying to thank me for not resisting?
I believe we couldn't negotiate a diplomatic solution.
When it came to my country's lithium, it was always a swarm that would be sent to negotiate. Metallurgic International, U.S. Robot Command. The markings changed, but the robots were the same.
You have had considerable experience in human-robot conflict.
Yes, and I've got the prosthetic limbs to show it. Yet I continue to face this horror, even though the challenge was great. Cyber warfare. I thought Zero Dawn would be a Manhattan project to generate the deactivation codes. With the resources I had, I estimated code breaking to be a hopeless endeavor. I was almost looking forward to being proved wrong.
Unfortunately, your estimation was correct.
As your General Hera said. So then, you did not bring me here to commiserate. What is left?
Couple more. Bunker door. Counselor guidelines. For the debriefing after presentation 1, candidates must be allowed to ask questions and be given the necessary time to fully absorb the information they have received. It is important to be aware that candidates have just been exposed to triggers for severe mental and emotional trauma. Do not assume silence or outward calmness indicates acceptance. It is essential to stress that all other options for combating the Pharaoh Plague and preserving the continuation of human life have been considered and found unworkable. Communicate this fact calmly, but clearly and firmly. Familiarize yourself with data on the catastrophic environmental impact of nuclear engagements versus the swarm. Addendum B1, and the feasibility of maintaining life in orbital, lunar, or undersea structures. Addenda C1, C2, C3. So that you can counter candidate's objections in depth. If the candidate asks for time alone to review supplementary information, allow this without hesitation. Be sure to inform personal security personnel so the candidate can be monitored for attempts at self-harm. Candidates should only be cleared to proceed to presentation 2 if you believe their mental state is sufficiently stable. Note that real-time support will be available via your focus. Security and medical crisis teams are data corrupted. Whoops. Suzanne Alpert.
With Suzanne Alpert, environmental scientist. Doctor?
I'm sorry, I wasn't,
Just stating your name. What were you thinking about, Doctor?
Nothing the General said. Not really. I was on the Syzygy East Response Team in 2051, just after the second earthquake compromised the reactor. I still dream about it, after all these years. The red zone spreading on the imaging, slowly, so slowly, like a hand opening its fingers.
Your involvement in that event is why you were asked for by name.
Really? That's interesting. Because nothing worked. Nothing could grow there again. It was a catastrophic failure. But the red zone is a blip compared to global-scale biomass reduction. The biosphere and hydrosphere will collapse, render the Earth uninhabitable long before the robots finish us. Enduring victory can't buy time against that. So, you'd better show me what Zero Dawn really is.
Sounds German. We had a British, a Brit, a German, a Chinese person. What the emitter? That's in the next room. Yeah, they're collecting people from all corners of the globe. Got everything in here, right? The only thing is that gun right there.
CD02 data intact. Initiating playback.
Elizabeth Sobek.
You've heard the bad news, and it's all true. The Pharaoh Plague is devouring the biosphere. Life itself will cease to exist. But does that have to be the end? What if we could give life a future? What if we could build a kind of seed from which, on a dead planet, life could blossom anew? This is the aim, the hope, of Project Zero Dawn. To create a super-intelligent, fully automated terraforming system and bring life back from lifelessness. What would such a system require? At its core, it would need a true AI, fully capable of making the trillions of decisions necessary to reconstitute the biosphere. An immortal guardian, devoted to the reflourishing of life. We call it Gaia. Mother Nature as an AI. But that's just the core of the system. She will need to be surrounded and empowered by a comprehensive suite of subordinate functions. Think of them as extensions of Gaia's mind, each dedicated to a specific purpose. Now, these aren't AIs, but make no mistake, each presents an engineering challenge more profound than anything the human species has ever before attempted. Hardware that preserves and then gestates the billions of seeds and embryos from which life will be reborn. The construction of underground facilities to hold it all. And that's just the start. Build the entire system. The beauty of a fully automated terraforming system is that it can build itself. Now, over the days to come, you'll learn how all these functions, all these pieces that you'll be working on, fit together. How we'll race the clock to execute our harvest initiatives, write the software, build the tech and the facilities. How we'll lock it down and seal it up before the inevitable occurs. But even more important, you'll know how it doesn't end here. How Gaia will generate those deactivation codes General Harris talked about, and build the transmission arrays to broadcast them, shutting down the Pharaoh robots for good. How Gaia will not just build, but imagine any conceivable robot it needs to do its work across centuries. From detoxifying the Earth's ravaged atmosphere and poisoned seas, to the regreening of the Earth from cryopreserved seed stalks, to rewilding the Earth with animal life. And then, when all that is done, how a new generation of human beings, spawned at cradle facilities around the globe, will partake of Apollo, the vast archive of human knowledge and cultural achievement from which they will learn of us, our world. And most important, how not to repeat our mistakes. It's not an impossible dream. It is within our grasp if we work tirelessly and stop at nothing to achieve it. We can't stop life from ending. But if you will help me, help Gaia, we can give it a future. Join me and help make that future real.
whole Earth destroyed, but then remade?
Yup.
Yes. By him.
But did this for us. But why Hades then? If it was part of Gaia, how did it end up in the wreckage of a pharaoh robot? And why does it want to kill me? And Apollo, the Archive of Knowledge, what happened to that?
I'm as confused as you are. Maybe the answers lie ahead.
Yeah, what happened? Like, we saw the Hephaestus AI, and we learned earlier from doing the cauldrons, that was the AI system that was making all of the animal-like machines. All of these. And that it was making combat ones to combat human hunters. And you'll notice this Apollo one is supposed to be the one that has a record of all of human history, but you'll notice nobody knows anything. And I find it ironic how despite, how despite being against an automated AI system, they had to fall back on one anyway in order to reseed life on Earth. Yeah, this is pretty much the librarian from Halo. I keep saying it. I'm sorry. It's just I see too much of a similarity. But yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. Make your selection. You are now in possession of information regarding the true nature and purpose of Project Zero Dawn, classified far above top secret. As such, we regret that you cannot be allowed to leave this facility. There are 3 options available to you at this point. Please consider each carefully. Trained counselors are standing by to assist you in making your choice. So, they did eventually crack the code, but of course it took a hell of a long time. And they needed people, as many as they could get, that were left and specialized in the in what could have helped to make this project happen. Participation, you will be participation, you will be assigned to a sub-project team based on your area of expertise. You should be aware that the way forward will be difficult and the project's outcome is uncertain. You will be expected to work a minimum of 80 hours per week, and your communications with the family members will be strictly limited and monitored in real time. Upon successful completion of the project, you and your immediate family or 2 persons of your choosing will be transferred to the Elysium sealed habitat to live out the remainder of your natural lives. Was that Elysium? Was that the facility that we saw early in the game, both as child Aloy and when we came back? It would explain the hologram of the one guy who was celebrating his son's birthday or whatever. Indefinite detention. Should you choose to decline participation in Project Zero Dawn, you will be confined indefinitely. You will be given 48 hours to reconsider, after which your decision to refuse participation will be considered irrevocable. Every reasonable effort will be made to make your term of confinement as comfortable as possible, but you will not be permitted contact with the outside world, and death within 18 months due to the Pharaoh Plague is inevitable. When the Zero Dawn facility is abandoned, detainees who wish not to opt for medical euthanasia will be released. What? So either take part in the project or die. Those are your options. I mean, yeah, it sounds like 3 options, but it's really 2 when you get right down to it. 3, medical euthanasia. The information you have just received understandably calls into question the purpose of continuing to live. If you would prefer to end your life at this point, pain-free medical euthanasia is available. Youch. A 48-hour waiting period is required, during which time you may indeed opt for participation or confinement. Please notify a counselor when you are ready to make your choice, or if you have further questions. There are no choices. Either join up or die. Counselor guidelines 2. For debriefing after presentation 2, it is vitally important that candidates choose to participate in Project Zero Dawn voluntarily and knowingly, without additional coercion and without value judgment on the part of the counselor. That did not seem voluntary. Let's be real here. Confirm for candidates that they were selected due to their skill sets. Great, yawning already. And accomplishments. Emphasize that their dedicated participation in Zero Dawn will increase the project's chances of success. Frame participation in Zero Dawn as an opportunity to respond actively in the face of an overwhelming threat. Candidates may question the fairness of their selection, validate such objections as normal, even admirable responses, emphasize the value of candidates' expertise to the future, not just of humanity, but terrestrial life as a whole. Likewise, candidates may balk at the morality of extending their lifespans and those of loved ones beyond 0 day. Validate their hesitation, acknowledge that while the reward of Elysium is not fair, it will be earned, if possible, redirect their ethical misgivings towards greater commitment to the project. When candidates challenge the plausibility of Project Zero Dawn, permit them to review Dr. Sobek's presentation as many times as they wish and allow access to supplemental articles G01 through P20. Allow them to suspend the interview to fully process this documentation. A significant minority of candidates will elect for medical euthanasia. It is important to receive this... Whatever. It is important to receive this decision kindly and without judgment. Everybody should use... Whatever. Excuse me. Advise them of the 48-hour waiting period during which counselors will be available to discuss their decision. Emphasize that euthanasia will not occur without repeated consent. When the procedure is scheduled to take place, no one will be euthanized against her or his will. Candidates who elect indefinite detention must be informed that they have 48 hours to reverse their decision, after which the decision data corrupted. Well, we all know how it ends up anyway. So go that way. But there's stuff over here. Brad Andek, interview 2.
Of course I'll do it. To be given the opportunity to rebuild what the damage that I don't feel worthy of it, but I will do it, absolutely.
I want to stress that this was never about your culpability.
It is to me. Dr. Sobek, Margot, they were smart to get out of Pharaoh when they did, but not one of us took it as a warning sign. It just told ourselves that we're cut out for the BTRI cabals. That's the better than rapid innovation. Better at competing, better than the next guy, a better killing machine. Isn't it just amazing how a century and a half of science fiction did nothing to swerve our species from the path of doom? I mean, I'm done with that life. I mean, I will work hard, twice as hard, to earn this, for my family to have a place in Elysium. I never thought that there could be atonement.
Yep. So he jumped at the chance. Yeah. Century of science fiction. Warned you repeatedly. Terminator, The Matrix. And in the case of Marxism, well, 1984 and Brave New World and so on and so forth. An Animal Farm. But no, we do not like to learn.
If you're still nauseous,
No, the inhibitors have kicked in. I can't feel the back of my tongue. I wish I could tell you I'd believe in this. But the damage is too great, too extensive, too complete. With all respect to Dr. Sobek's work at Miriam, no. No, life doesn't always find a way to keep going. Sometimes it never comes back. Like Syzygy East. Like the Congo. Like Timor. Like us. That's our reward? A buried city full of terminal patients waiting out the clock?
You'd grow old together, with your loved ones, in safety.
I don't have loved ones. I suppose I could start a family?
I'm afraid not. All inhabitants of Elysium will be medically sterilized.
What?
A habitat capable of sustaining a starting base of 2,000 individuals for up to 100 years is a huge challenge, Dr. Alpert. If the population grows instead of diminishes, everyone will be dead inside 30 years.
I knew it. I just couldn't bring myself to say the words.
I'm sorry.
Finish it. Medical euthanasia. I want no part of this. I just want it over.
I see. Protocols require a 48-hour waiting period, after which...
Well, interview 2 was Suzanne Alpert. She declined. Not even able to start a family. They all got sterilized. Well, what's the point of even taking your family then? Ron Felder, number 2.
See to make sure I behave this time?
Security. For your protection. Would you like to discuss how you're feeling?
Sure. I'll tell you. Surprised. No, flabbergasted. Like my own man would say, flabbergasted. That vein pumping in his forehead. I thought you people were just completely underprepared for a spaceflight project. But now I can see it's worse. Much worse. Sobek is a total fantasist, a dangerous fantasist. He's kind of blue skying. It's... Jesus. I'm sorry we wasted each other's time. I'm ready to leave now.
I'm afraid that's not possible.
Everything you're talking about here isn't possible.
I recommend you read the documents regarding your options.
I've seen enough. I'm getting out of here. What did you... You know... Get your hands off me!
Well, he definitely was not cut out for the job.
Alert. Medical wing inaccessible.
Looks pretty accessible to me. Don't see anything in here. Just an empty room. What's this? Shackles. So Alpert quit because she did not. So Felder didn't do it because he thought it was a complete fantasy. Suzanne didn't go for it because she didn't think it would actually work, and the fact that she thought that just being sterile in a population that couldn't even, you know, propagate was ridiculous. And the other guy, well, he went along anyway because because, you know, it was redemption for him. I have no idea what these Death Stranding Spartan helmets are supposed to be for. Yeah, you work here, you work your ass off, and you die anyway. So much for propagating the human race. Well, they did repropagate the human race, just not with themselves. Because there wasn't enough resources, apparently. Like, what? You didn't even have a hydro... Like, seriously, did they not even have a hydroponics department to grow food? Like, I'm sure you... Like, come on, this was like the future with frickin' robots and shit. Even Dead Space had the Ishimura had a hydroponics area where they grew vegetables and shit. I mean, yeah, you'd have to... Like, you couldn't have just had condoms or pulled out or whatever. Like, you couldn't have managed the population in a different manner. The freaking Fallout bunkers and, well, Fallout managed. I don't know. It just seems weird, like so many other franchises, you know, come up with reasons as to how a human population could survive in a bunker for a century or so. Or several centuries, really. And be perfectly fine, yet they all pretty much doomed themselves.
Intruder! Get her! Eyes up!
Don't die now.
Let this bring me...
Where's the other guy?
Just need my focus.
Huh.
Be prepared.
Okay, got his thing. Travis Tate.
Now, those lame FBI black hats at Mockingbird back in the day, I enjoyed schooling them. But maybe I went in too hard on this poor counselor. She was cute, and just going down a checklist after all. Couldn't expect her to see how ridiculous Zero D's ambitions are. God's own budget thrown at a kid playing with a hologram sculptor? Palms up, honey. I'm just calling it like it is. Hey, look, Mom, I'm making nature. Now, if nature is so important, why not let nature take its course? Extinction? That's natural. Zero Dawn? No, ma'am, that ain't. Heck, it's so unnatural to be called an abomination back home, and you know it. That's why you're hiding it. Meanwhile, my little honey of a counselor, she's munching the inside of her cheek. Bad habit. She chewed one of her nails, too, just one. Not your day, was it, little sweet pea? Saw her quota slipping away. Said, I assume you intend to decline the assignment, Mr. Tate. You kidding me? 18 months hard labor in exchange for 30 years lounging around Elysium watching porn? Sign me up.
Well, a man's got to keep himself entertained, I guess. One way or another. Christina Suve again.
Zero Dawn. It is art, in a way. An expression on the grandest scale. But there is so much unfairness. Why was I chosen? Was it decided by committee? By algorithm? My family will be saved because I happen to graduate in art history? Is this right?
Dr. Suve? Christina Suve?
Yes. I met a man, another historian. His fields are Bauhaus and the New Materialists. But he once attended one of my talks. Another unfair chance. Of all the many people in that auditorium, that we should both be here now. And yet, I feel more accepting of my fate. No, it is not fair. Not at all. But for the sake of my family, for the sake of art. Art is alive. It must be able to speak from beyond history and echo in the future, not perish into oblivion. This opportunity, I must do this.
So, Christina and Travis went for it. And the other guy who helped create the Pharaoh bots. Came from there. It's the Fire Striker guns. Tom Pike.
I hashed it out with them, what the point of Artemis was. I made it clear I wasn't on board for a global zoo. We haven't exactly proved ourselves to be great custodians in the past few thousand years. So the idea of a reconstituted biosphere, well, it's horrifying, isn't it? A complete horror show. We have no right to take a best guess at this stuff. But the alternative? Nothingness. For there to have been all this, and then nothing. And with Charles Ronson running the show, I respect him. He's got a passion to him. He's hot-blooded. So I said I'll do it. I'll put my all into this, literally. When the project is done, I'll take the medical option, thank you. Counselor said I might change my mind. I told him that he didn't know me very well then. For life's sake. I'll do the dirty work. But I want no part of this pathetic attenuated future on offer. I'm an outdoors man. Never did like the feel of solid-state lighting on my skin. And a wee bit of a claustrophobe anyway.
So Tom did settle down and went and worked on the project, but under the condition that once he was done, they put him under. I personally would not have done it, but his choice. That door's locked. I already went in here, right? Already read that one. So we gotta go opens the door. We gotta go down here to do it. It's like another switchboard puzzle. Power cable.
Here we go. Another one of these. Need to find the right configuration.
Right configuration.
There's a part missing. Maybe there's a storage area nearby.
Code Nexus. What is this? Left, up, left? Oh, that's how it is. Up, left, down, right.
Done. I should check the door nearby.
Yeah, how do I get to the one up there?
Hey, I'm done with Brett's incompetence, okay? Somehow, he managed to install an H-emitter node backwards. Everything's in reverse. I don't get paid to clean up Brett's messes. If you want it fixed, send him up to storage for a new emitter, not me. Parker out. Hey, I'm done with Brett's incompetence, okay? Somehow, he managed to install an H-emitter node backwards. Everything's in reverse. I don't get paid to clean up Brett's messes. If you want it fixed, send him up to storage for a new emitter, not me. Parker out.
So I gotta get the other one. I'm guessing through here. Looks like it. And it's backwards, she said.
Found one. Looks intact. That should do the trick.
You said it was back.
Door open.
You said it was backwards, right? So let's try it backwards, and if it isn't backwards, we'll do it the way it says. Down. Left, right. Down, right, up. Down, right, up. Left, down. Nope. Wasn't backwards like they made it seem. What the hell? Up, left, down, right, up.
Hey, I'm done with Brett's incompetence, okay? Somehow, he managed to install an H-emitter node backwards. Everything's in reverse. I don't get paid to clean up Brett's messes. If you want it fixed, send him up to storage for a new emitter, not me. Parker out.
Right. Up. Left. Down. Okay, what the hell? They said backwards. And backwards is, you know, down, right, up, left, down. So what's the problem? What the fuck? I did what it said. I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm confused. I don't know what it's talking about. It said backwards, and that all seems pretty backwards to me. Fuck it, I'm looking it up. Backwards puzzle. Okay. Okay. What? Down, left, up, right. Down?
Door should have power.
Now to see what lies beyond it.
Okay. That was a very, very stupid puzzle. Like, hello, they said that all the dials had been backwards, and 2 of those were the only ones that were backwards. So that made 0 to no sense. I'm sorry, but no. I've seen far more complex puzzles. Yeah, I'm in the deep earth. Yeah, I figured it out just by looking it up, because the game had me completely stumped, because by its own logic, the code was backwards. Except only 2 of them were actually backwards. The rest were all normal. So it's like the game couldn't stay by its own rules of what the puzzle meant. I mean, yeah, it wasn't hard, but I mean, in theory, it wasn't really that hard. I mean, none of these puzzles have been that hard. But if you're gonna tell me in a complete sentence the solution is backwards, rightly, I'm going to assume it's backwards, not 2 or 3 of said solutions. Makes no sense. I hate those kinds of puzzles where they pull the rug under you like that, and you just from using basic common sense. Uh-oh.
Eclipse. They're here.
Avoid contact.
Lines look good.
Gaia. It's up there. 2nd floor.
Can you reach it?
So much for avoiding contact.
try to run. Fear! Can't see them!
That's the last of them. Or not. Room's clear. For a moment, anyway.
Then get moving. You have to find Gaia.
Look for the AI.
Save these for the trail.
Bunker doors that way.
Alert. Structural failure prevents access.
There's a thing in there. Before I go in there. Anything in this room? Top floor up there, but I don't think I can reach it yet.
Hello, I'm Margot Shen, and this is Hephaestus. As the name might tip you off, this is going to be the subordinate function that Gaia will use to make lots and lots of robots. Her personal forge. Except, it's not that simple. So you probably noticed that only about a third of you are robotics engineers. The rest, experts in machine cognition, virtual heuristics, that stuff. Well, that's because we aren't going to be the ones designing and building robots. The last thing we want is to burden Gaia with a bunch of outmoded 21st century designs. Waste of time. Our purpose is to empower Gaia to build the robots, and not just build, imagine, from scratch. Any robot she needs for any conceivable purpose, designed and fabricated at a snap of a finger. Hers. Her finger. So, Hephaestus isn't really the forge. It's more like the knowledge of craft and ingenuity of a mastersmith to wield the hammer.
Like the Greek
Encoded
god.
as software. Virtual creativity made real. Gaia's already learning. In simulation, she's doing some very creative things with fractal assembly and animal morphologies. Her designs aren't about to win the Liam Prize anytime soon, but hey, everyone has to start somewhere. So, yes, time to get started. Let's do this.
I don't get it.
Which part? It's a little technical in places.
If Gaia was designed to save life, why would the robots it makes attack people?
Perhaps it loves some forms of life more than others.
The derangement. The machines weren't always so angry.
true. Mostly they were docile until 10, 15 years ago.
For years, Hephaestus has been forcing cauldrons to make aggressive machines. I've seen it myself, in the cauldrons. Stalkers, Ravagers, the Thunderjaw. How could it do that? And why?
Why indeed?
Yeah, we did all the cauldrons, so we have a bit more context for it. As for the whys, well, we kind of started attacking them. But then they're also hinting at some other greater problem with happened to Gaia. Why is Hades acting rogue if it's supposed to be one of them? For instance, full steam ahead. From Elizabeth Sobek to Margot Shen, full steam ahead. Margot, if I doubted your brilliance in the slightest, I would have picked you as the Hephaestus Alpha. You need to stop worrying about your age and communication style. You are who you are, have confidence in yourself, you know what you're doing. Case in point, the latest draft of your plan for the construction and stocking of bootstrap silos to store raw materials is excellent. This combined with your design for the AM Foundry Core and the Foundry site selection plan add up to a comprehensive plan. It's time to start construction. One detail, consult with Iomide Okilo before you finalize the silo inventories. Hephaestus' first task will be to fabricate the robots that will construct the waveform broadcast towers Minerva will use to transmit the deactivation codes. So any exotic materials needed for the towers should be accounted for in the inventory plan. Elizabeth. Okay. So this Margot sounded pretty chipper.
And this is Hephaestus.
Okay.
As the name might tip you off, this is going to be the subordinate function that Gaia will use to make lots and lots of robots. Her personal forge. Except, it's not that simple. You probably noticed that only about a third of you are robotics engineers. The rest, experts in machine cognition, virtual heuristics, that stuff.
I can't spare the weight.
Well, aren't going to be the ones designing and building robots. The last thing we want is to burden Gaia with a bunch of outmoded 21st century designs. A waste of time. Our purpose is to empower Gaia to build the robots. And not just build, imagine, from scratch. Any robot she needs, for any conceivable purpose, designed and fabricated at a snap of a finger. Hers. Her finger. So, Hephaestus isn't really the forge. It's more like the knowledge of craft and ingenuity of a mastersmith to wield the hammer. Encoded as software. Virtual creativity made real. Gaia's already learning. In simulations, she's doing some very creative things with fractal assembly and animal morphologies. Her designs aren't about to win the Liam Prize anytime soon, but hey, everyone has to start somewhere. So, yes. Time to get started. Let's do this.
Yeah. Whoa, what is this? That looks gnarly, whatever it is. Simulation results. Margot Shen. From Margot to Elizabeth. Simulation results. Wow, you weren't kidding about Gaia's predilection for animal morphologies. Sure, not totally unexpected given the rough natural terrain her bots will have to navigate, but I agree that there's something deeper going on here. Her designs aren't just functional, they feel almost like, well, tributes is the word that comes to mind. As though she's already mourning their loss, and not just for the disappearing fauna of our time, but creatures from the fossil record too. References to megafauna and some of her designs. So cool. Well, whatever Gaia thinks up, Hephaestus will empower her to build it. Just wish we could still be around in a century or two to see what she makes. Margot. Yep. Modern animals. You know, like all the antelope-looking ones, but even the sawtooths, which are like the saber-toothed cats. And of course, well, according to the game, that came later. So even the Thunderjaw, but then again, we saw Thunderjaws in the very beginning of the game. I'm guessing this was the Hephaestus area. If it all, And again...
I've seen these shapes before. In cauldrons.
But of course, the birthing places of Gaia's machines.
Yeah, all the geometric rocks and the shapes, geometric shapes in the walls and whatnot. Okay, I already used the holo projector, got all the stuff in here. Anything over here? Nope. Room in there. Here's where we were.
Can't carry more. I think this is it. Elizabeth Sobek's office. But it's sealed off. There's got to be a way inside.
Keep looking.
Uh-oh.
More clips.
Careful now.
Sneaky, sneaky.
Welcome to Apollo, the collective memory of the human species and the wellspring of knowledge for future generations. I am Samina Ebaji. Until recently, I was director of the International Collective Memory Institute in New Tehran. As a heritage professional, I devoted my career to the preservation of human knowledge, creative endeavor, and cultural achievement. Apollo is, therefore, the ultimate embodiment of a lifelong passion, albeit under the very worst circumstances imaginable. The challenges before us are immense. Specifically, we will have to design and implement 4 major initiatives simultaneously. First, the construction of data repositories in cradle facilities around the world, ensuring redundancy. Second, the collection and processing of a projected 180 million discrete data entries. 42 zettabytes of data in Mandarin, English, Spanish, and Arabic. Third, the transferal and encoding of all that data onto DNA encapsulated in synthetic fossils. The only medium capacious and durable enough to safeguard it without degradation for the centuries to come. And last, but not least, the development of the holographic interface and gamified curricula, by which future humans will commune with Apollo, progressively unlocking heuristic learning modules, leveling up their knowledge and skills they will need to take control of the terraforming system. That is the future towards which all of our efforts will be directed. Not just the preservation of the past, but the seed for the flourishing of a new tree of knowledge. Welcome, and let us begin.
Okay, so this is the Apollo area. New Tehran. So, is she Persian? Did the mullahs get overthrown in this universe? Not that it matters at this point. Oh, and, hello. What's this? Another... No, it's another text. Encapsulated DNA, huh? From Samina Ebadji to Sobek. And the winner is Encapsulated DNA. Over the past 10 days, I've performed an extensive review of data storage solutions, magnetic, optical, quantum, even that eternity tech that FAS was shilling a year or so ago, but every other solution was one or more fatal shortcomings, too heavy to transport, too massive to install in the allotted space, too power intensive over the centuries, too prone to failure past 300 to 400 years, etc. Encapsulated DNA will easily hold the 40 plus zettabytes we're projecting for Apollo. There are still many details to finalize, of course. To start with, we need to select the inert material in which we'll embed the molecules, already testing 16 candidate materials, as well as design and fabricate the power systems and sealed reliquaries that will keep the DNA at negative 18 degrees Celsius for 1,000 plus years. So long as I assure that I didn't factor into my decision, may I confess that I deem it entirely fitting, indeed propitious, that we will be using the very building blocks of life to preserve human knowledge from the mechanized extinction. It's not just ironic, but heroic. Life as the hero, beating back the forces of oblivion. In any case, much to do. Until next time, peace be with you, Samina. And Dad, close the door, please. Okay, don't do that again. So the last thing I need is half the house bothering me. Because of my voice going up. Okay, so Apollo's the storage is the knowledge storage area, and it won't let me in. Nope.
Welcome to Apollo, the collective memory of the human species and the wellspring
it won't let me in.
Knowledge for future generations. I am Samina Ebadji.
Apollo update.
Until recent.
Over the past 2 months, from Samina again, over the past 2 months, the full benefit of our procurement of a copy of the Homer archive from Far Zenith has made itself known, and as a result, all of Apollo's key deliverables are on schedule. Apollo has already surpassed 40 million discrete data entries and centuries to grow. The physical science modules are effectively complete, with soft science modules close behind. World history, cultural data, the media archives are also on schedule. Language preservation is wrapping up a bit ahead of schedule due to falling short of our goal to preserve 4,500 languages. I suppose the tragic early loss of Papua New Guinea doomed that goal from the outset, with attendant curricula development about to begin. Speaking of the heuristic curricula, they are performing well in testing with children and adolescents, demonstrating high levels of engagement with and trust in the Aristotle and Aspasia personae. Personally, I find them highly engaging, especially when they debate. I wish half my professors had been so entertaining. Peace be with you.
I was director of the International Collective Memory Institute in New Tehran. As a heritage professional, I devoted my
Nope.
career to the preservation of human knowledge, creative
Can't go in
endeavor,
there.
and cultural achievement. Apollo is, therefore, the ultimate embodiment of a...
So, Sunfall rests upon the ruin of the old ones. The place is mine.
Okay.
Fire! It's killing! Get back in there and fight!
That's the last of them. On once more.
In what should have been a cave of wonders. Look around. See if anything is left.
Okay, does she... That I got rid of the guards. Does that mean she'll respond to this?
Welcome to Apollo, the collective memory of the human species and the wellspring of knowledge for future generations.
Probably not, but I want to
I am
check.
Samina El-Baji. Until recently, I was director of the International Collective Memory Institute in New Tehran. As a heritage professional, I devoted my career to the preservation of human knowledge, creative endeavor, and cultural achievement. Apollo is, therefore, the ultimate embodiment of a lifelong passion, albeit under the very worst circumstances imaginable. The challenges before us are immense. Specifically, we will have to design and implement 4 major initiatives simultaneously. First, the construction of data repositories in cradle facilities around the world, ensuring redundancy. Second, the collection and processing of a projected 180 million discrete data entries, 42 zettabytes of data in Mandarin, English, Spanish, and Arabic. Third, the transferal and encoding of all that data onto DNA encapsulated in synthetic fossils. The only medium capacious and durable enough to safeguard it without degradation for the centuries to come. And last, but not least, the development of the holographic interface and gamified curricula, by which future humans will commune with Apollo, progressively unlocking heuristic learning modules, leveling up their knowledge and skills they will need to take control of the terraforming system. That is the future towards which all of our efforts will be directed. Not just the preservation of the past,
Blah, 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 blah,
but
blah.
the seed for the flourishing of a new tree of knowledge. Welcome, and let us begin.
Nothing? Ah, come on. I was hoping Aloy would say something there. Like, ooh, knowledge. Also, how come can't we go in the Apollo room? Anything over here? Nope. So those look like computer banks in the Apollo area, which we sadly can't go inside of. Probably where all the centuries of human history are preserved. What the heck is this thing? Harris's terminal.
Dr. Sobek, please archive this testimonial in Apollo. Cross-reference to all mentions of my name and Operation Enduring Victory.
Testimonial.
My name is General Aaron Harris. From 2060 to 2066, I served as the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, the highest-ranked officer of the United States Armed Forces. The tenure of my command included strategic planning and oversight of Operation Enduring Victory, a falsehood perpetrated on the civilian populations of the United States and other nations during the last 14 months of life on this planet. Before the Pharaoh Plague, I did my job and did it well. I was bold and decisive, crafty in political maneuvers. It wasn't an accident that I rose to my position and became the commander of the largest mechanized force ever assembled. But to what end? My only lasting achievement was the extinction of life on Earth. And my one redeeming act, if any, was to delay that extinction by days or weeks, by throwing more death at it. It is my hope that there will be no need for men like me in the world to come. If you are one of the people of that future world listening to this message, please know that I am sorry and that I wish you well. Sincerely, Aaron Harris.
General Harris's testimonial. Okay. He hated what he did, but he had to do it. No choice. Desperate measures, desperate times. Climb, please. Thank you. I was here for... There's the door. Anything over here?
Welcome to Hades. Zero Dawn's Extinction Failsafe Protocol. The ultimate killer app. Now, I know what you're thinking. The purpose of Gaia is to resurrect life. So why give her a subordinate function, only purpose of which is to wipe out life all over again? I mean, what the... what?
Yeah,
Just
why?
plumb crazy, ain't it? Well, no, it isn't. Reconstituting a biosphere? That's a tall order. Tech smart as Gaia may be, odds are she won't get it right the first time. I mean, imagine your Gaia 200 years from now and this new biosphere growing, it's all gone wrong. Alkalines are skyrocketing, coniferous forests eroding under the lash of superstorms that would have drowned Noah. It's chaos. Spinning top that won't stop wobbling. Now what are you gonna do? Release phase 1 organisms into that hot mess? Hope their CO2 and methane can balance out what you got started? Hell no. What you're gonna do, Gaia, is step aside while Hades takes over and does what you're just too darn nurturing and life-loving to do. which is burn that misbegotten mess of a biosphere to the ground so Gaia can start over. Okay, not burn, more like reverse terraforming operations and suffocate it. But you get the idea. Hades takes the biosphere back to zero. Square one, blank slate. And then, only then, does it hand the steering wheel back to Gaia and say, try again, old girl. And better this time, or we'll have to do this again. That's Hades. It's pretty badass when you think about it. Extinction on demand. Death on speed dial. All for the greater good, of course, but still, kind of metal. So welcome to Hades. Welcome to the void.
Okay, so if that's the original purpose of Hades, why does it want me extinct?
We need more data.
And how does it end up in the wreckage of a Pharaoh Titan, getting worshipped by the Eclipse like some kind of god?
I'm learning as you are, Aloy. Keep searching.
Okay, so Hades is meant to be like a counter where it's like if the biosphere that Gaia makes is wrong, it resets it back to zero by killing what isn't supposed to be there. But now it's gone haywire. Or something to that extent. Noise complaints. From Travis Tate to Elizabeth. Color me confounded, Lizzie. Bashcore. Anyone who says the old TT coast to Bashcore is straight up lying, and you know it. Old Trav don't have no truck with commercialized razzle-dazz, nuh-uh. Heck, I'd rather guzzle a liter of Citarum runoff than listen to Grey Swarm for 30 seconds. Hand to God and swear on my mama's grave and she was religious. Nah, that ain't Bashcore. Biast in the Hades lab shaking the walls. Rattling folks' teeth. It's death metal, girl. Classical music, 80s and 90s mostly. Got me some Dutch deathcore, some Japanese gore grind, some Swedish cannibal themed stuff too. Stop by if you want to listen, or heck, just come within 50 meters of the lab. Ain't no bashcore you'll see. Or hear, rather, in the screech that rends the air. And feel in the throbbing pulse of the floor and walls and ceiling swallowing you up like you was Joseph trapped in the gullet of gothic deathfish. Hallelujah. As for those requests to turn it down, no can do, Lizzie. This is how I code. Turn down my death metal, might as well give up stimulants. Chocolate malts and industrial accident vids. Last I heard, we were supposed to be coding Hades down here. Am I really supposed to code an Extinction Protocol without death metal to inspire me? Nah, I don't think so. Stay cool, Trav. Okay, I kinda like him. In a weird black humor kind of way. Hades Protocol. Tate here, just popped 3 blues, but I earned it. Finally figured out a Goldilocks solution to Gaia's rather extreme executive authority. If that ain't 10 to 12 hours of dream time, what is? For this, every usurpation protocol I designed failed in simulation because it was rather too hard or too soft. Too hard, and it degraded the Gaia core. Sure, it pried her figurative fingers off the figurative driving wheel so Hades could take control, but by breaking her fingers, sometimes her arms too, so she couldn't fly. Everything depends on Gaia taking control back after Hades has done its business. So hard to find a solution that didn't leave Gaia any worse for the wear. Too soft, and Gaia only pretended to relinquish control. In simulation after simulation, Hades would take command of the terraforming system and reverse operations, only to have Gaia lurk in the background, quietly re-reversing any processes and falsifying telemetry to hide its interference. Sneaky, I swear. Ain't nothing Gaia wouldn't do to keep life going, even when it just simulated plant life. Turns out the just right solution is to isolate Gaia in a protective code shell, preserving its integrity then unseat it from the command position so Hades can slip into the figurative captain's chair and work its magic. Those blues are coming on strong now, so I'm not really describing it so clear, but pretty sure it'll work. Yeah, those blues are pretty strong. Guess it's time to sleep in bed. I'll back to it tomorrow. Alligators. Oh my god. Just because.
Welcome to Hades. Zero Dawn's a completion failsafe protocol.
So this was Travis's area.
Gaia is to resurrect life. So why give her a subordinate function, only purpose of which is to wipe out life all over again? I mean, what the?
Archive abuse. Archive abuse from Samina Ibaji to Travis Tate. Mr. Tate, this mail concerns Apollo Archive submission number 000023876, your 666th submission in just 5 days, and oh, what a doozy. Despite earlier warnings re inappropriate materials, you chose to submit 265 holographic remasters of acknowledged classics of extreme exploitation cinema. Allow me then to thank you on 2 counts. 1, for giving me the pleasure of rejecting your submission, thereby co-signing your favorite Eastern European torture flicks and their ilk to the dust heap of oblivion. It truly works my heart to know that I've saved future humanity from the ordeal of experiencing not just one, but all 16 installments of making a millipede. I don't think I want to know. Don't worry, the Pasolini material has already been preserved. Extreme, perhaps, but art. 2, for clarifying a concept that has so long been ambiguous and ethically fraught for activists such as myself, archivists such as myself, the definition of obscenity. You have freed me from the subjugative quagmire embodied in Judge Potter's famous utterance. I know it when I see it. Thanks to you, I can now apply a single objective criterion. If Travis Tate submitted it, it's obscene. Accordingly, I've directed Apollo staff to summarily reject all of your future submissions, sight unseen. Perhaps you might invest the time you would have spent preparing further submissions on... Oh, I don't know. You're assigned work. We have a world to save after all, or the rest of us do anyway. Dr. Samina Ibaji.
What? Just plumb crazy, ain't it? Well, no. It isn't.
So the man was a fan of torture films, porn films, huh?
Tech smart as guy.
Not my thing.
Looks like the only way onwards.
I'm not a fan of that Eli Roth shit. Thank you very much. Not my thing. Whoa, what is this?
Welcome to Eleuthia, the crown and king of Gaia's subordinate functions. For it is by Eleuthia that the human race will continue to exist. I am Patrick Brochard-Klein, the Alpha in charge of this program. Now let one thing be perfectly clear from the outset. Eleuthia is not a genetic engineering project. Our goal is to preserve the human genome, not alter it. A snapshot of human genetic diversity, literally frozen in time. The genetic quintessence of our species, unmodified. Under my watch, our activities and initiatives will comply with the 2034 clone provisions and the 2048 Rally Accords. Now that may seem a quaint, even trivial concern to you in light of present circumstances, but as one of the authors of the Accords, it is far from trivial to me. The practical challenges before us are staggering in scope and complexity, but not insurmountable. No. Global collation and provisional storage of zygotes, perfection of exogenic technologies, design and perfection of servitors, to provide nurture and inculcation during early child development. All of these program components must and will proceed in tandem, to say nothing of the breakneck construction of cradle facilities at sites around the world. So, si vous êtes prêts, let us begin.
So, Eleuthia was the program meant to preserve the human genetic codes and repopulate the world with the next generation, with more or less. Another text. FZ Chambers from Patrick Brokard Klein. Yup, definitely German or Austrian, whichever. FZ Chambers to Elizabeth Sobeck. The ectogenic chambers arrived 2 days ago. I spent the last 36 hours examining them and poring over technical documentation. They're a revelation, astonishing. I don't know what you had to give Far Zenith and trade to get these chambers, but it was worth it. In a single leap, their embryologists have vaulted past 50 years of technological shortcomings. The risks of ECMO resolved. Nutrition delivery resolved. Hormonal stability resolved. 12 other risk areas resolved. Before I examined these chambers, I considered the Odyssey to be a fool's errand, but if the rest of FZ's technology is at this level, well, a human colony around Sirius doesn't seem so impossible after all. Mass fabrication of the chambers will present a number of challenges, but I'm confident they can be resolved. I'm going to rest for a few hours, then get back to it. Expect a fabrication plan within 48 hours. PBK.
Are these what I think they are?
Artificial wombs. Machines to spawn a new generation of human beings.
Yup. Kratos Servitor Personae. From Klein to Sobeck. Development of the artificial personae for Cradle Servitors. Nurturer, disciplinarian, healer continues at a good pace. We are targeting Turing 0.4 for these constructs. This should allow low-grade empathy and limited improvisation without undermining adherence to codified behavioral sets. The stimulus-driven switching of personae, however, is proving to be a greater software challenge than anticipated, especially concerning our entrenched feedback loops between the disciplinarian and healer personae. I've also attached the reports from an incident where a servitor running the mother personae intervened on a disciplinarian servitor's behavior. A parental argument, if you will, amusing on first glance, perhaps, but deeply concerning. I have attached a comprehensive plan for correcting these interactive protocol shortcomings and just data corrupted. Whoops. Yep, so, yeah, this was, how the new humans came about. Oh, come on. Cradle sealed. From Klein to Sobeck. Eleuthia 01 was successfully sealed before the swarm advancing across Xinjiang province could detect it. Ping back from crucial systems is good for our maiden voyage a success. Regards my disputes with the betas over zygote selection. Of course, I understand we have limited overhead to run simulations of gene flow and our future humans, but we can all agree there is margin for refinement in future cradle populations. Donk, in whatever that means. In addition to personally overseeing completion of the Eleuthia 02 site inside Mount Namuli, I will formulate and propose a modified zygote selection plan within the week. PBK. Eleuthia. I'm not familiar with that name. Hold on a second. I'm kind of curious. Eleuthia. Was a Greek goddess of childbirth and midwifery. Huh. Okay, that makes sense. I've never heard of this particular deity in the pantheon, but it makes sense upon looking at it why they would call it this one, you know, birthing.
Should have brought a cart.
Model A15, cryogenic. Nope. Ectogenic chamber. Farm Model K, so there's like several versions of it. So we're going up there. That door's locked.
Cradle facilities. Elizabeth said a new generation of humans would be spawned inside such places.
She did.
All Mother Mountain. It was one.
Only one way to be sure.
We gotta go back there.
The hatch wouldn't open. Something about a corrupted Alpha registry. I need to search Elizabeth's office.
So we gotta go back there.
No room.
So, wait a minute. If Aloy came from a cradle just like this, and they all had genetic codes, you know, stored away to revive humans, what if Aloy, and I'm just speculating, what if she's not a daughter per se, but is the genetic clone of Sobek? Just spitballing here. That's what it sounds like anyway. Where are we? Well, not complete clone. There was a few numbers and the percentage off, but that's what it looks like anyway. Right down even to the voice. So that's her office. But let's look around.
Pure logic won't cut it, Ted. To pull this off, Gaia's going to need to have some skin in the game. It has to care.
What if it runs amok? Have we learned nothing from our mistakes?
Your mistakes, I think you mean?
All I
I'm saying is, give it a kill switch.
She was just born, Ted. I'm not gonna put a gun to her head while she's still in the cradle.
You talk like it's a child. What if it becomes a monster?
Elizabeth, may I speak outside protocol?
Of course, Gaia, go on.
I'm sorry to contradict you, but Mr. Farrow's argument is sound. At this point, the development of my psyche is not entirely predictable. To ensure preservation of life, a hardwired override is, I believe, a necessary safeguard.
There. Satisfied, Ted?
Jeez, Liz, just do what it says.
Safeguards. In case it goes rampant or something, I guess.
Nuts would benefit from antilopine morphologies, though caprid forms show superior load-bearing capability.
You're a quick study, Gaia.
Dr. Sobek, as I have conducted this comparative analysis of mammalian morphologies, I've gathered extensive data on the quaternary extinction event.
Oh? And your assessment? Gaia?
Logically speaking, the extinction was a natural consequence.
And yet,
I find the loss of megafaunal species unaccountably sad. That they passed forever into oblivion causes me to experience a grief that is difficult to describe. Am I malfunctioning?
No, Gaia, you're not. This is good. It's very good.
Grief. Empathy. Yeah, it looked like something that held something. Maybe maybe the Gaia AI. Looks big enough.
You will undergo a brief period of unconsciousness during relocation to Prime and final instatement.
Elizabeth, may I speak outside protocol?
When you're back up and running at the new site, we'll bring the subordinate functions online and see where we stand.
Elizabeth, I detect distress. Are you all right?
I'm fine.
I realize that circumstances compel us to launch earlier than we hoped, but all subsystems are operational. The odds stand in our favor.
But what if... Gaia, there's nothing left out there. You can't even survive unless you're wearing an environmental suit. There are billions dead, in fear and agony. What if it was all for nothing?
Elizabeth, extinction was inevitable. Thanks to you, life will have a future.
You really believe that?
I believe in you, Elizabeth. In you, all things.
Ah, data corrupted. Well, it did work. At least, until now anyway. So she was starting to have second thoughts of whether or not it would have worked or not. Came from there, went around there. Examine the terminal.
Full already.
Odyssey has failed. From Elizabeth Sobek to all Alphas. All some terrible news, I'm afraid. Farzina has informed me that the Odyssey mission has failed. Last night, telemetry indicated a catastrophic antimatter containment failure as the drive spun up to depart the solar system. The ship, its crew, its cargo of zygotes and seeds, its alpha build of Apollo, all were lost. Zero Dawn is now our only hope for the continuation of the human species and early life. We must succeed. Elizabeth. Uh-oh. So, I was right way back. The Odyssey did fail due to a mechanical failure. Yeah, antimatter containment failure. Yeah, the mechanical failure in the ship blew it apart. So, they tried the colonization part, and it blew up in smoke. So this was all they had left. Talk about a freak accident. So this was Gaia Logs, 27th of March 2065, 5th of June 2065, and finally 13th of January 2066. Artemis status. From Charles Ronson to Elizabeth. It's coming along, Liz. I'm positive about it. These words can still mean anything. Had my sleeves rolled up negotiating with frozen zoos for their samples. So many species trapped in ghoulish hologram dioramas, suspended in what-ifs, more than 14,000 that went extinct between 2000 and 2043. 14,000. We've started mapping out primary succession, selecting pioneer organisms for a balanced and sustainable biosphere, microorganisms and insects, rabbits and hawks, foxes and wolves, thousands more that will have to wait their turn until our new generation can be entrusted with the duty of restoring them. Okay, so it's a couple different ones at a time to adjust, and then the rest go out there, which is why we haven't seen any bears and shit. So they can return to a world that this time will understand the concept of conservation before it's too late. Okay. So they're not gonna so they didn't let all of them out into the world because they wanted the program so that it only happened if the humans were responsible enough. There's already been too many too late. We lost a whole collection team during the swarm breakthrough in Myanmar. The samples we lost were, well, irreplaceable. Really. Yeesh. Wonder how many animals those were. But thanks to you, Liz, the circle of life will bend, not break. The Earth was a lifeless rock before, and someday it will be again. It will be again, but not now, not like this, not on our watch. Ronson. And they took as many genetic samples as they could, so it all could be reseeded in time.
The Alpha Registry master file.
Intact?
Yeah. No signs of corruption.
Then what are you waiting for? Copy the file.
With this, I can restore the registry at the hatch inside Allmother. Open it. Go inside.
And grasp the secrets within.
Where I was born. Maybe who gave birth to me.
Who? Are you really so naive? There will be no who waiting for you there, Aloy. Whatever birthed you into the world was a what, not a who.
You bastard.
Oh no, I had a legitimate birth. It's you, Aloy, who are the creation of a machine. But what kind of machine and why? Why were you created?
Eclipse.
You need to get out of there. What you found is too valuable. You're too valuable.
Uh-oh. Heal us.
Still alive. Good.
I have a more suitable death in mind for you, child.
Ouch. Well, shit. Uh-oh.
My entire life, I've always known one thing with prophetic certainty. That I was destined for glory as a great champion of the sun. Even when Jiran was murdered, even when Meridian fell, I never doubted my destiny. Until you came along. When I heard that you had survived, a doubt took root in my mind. As sure as the sun rises and falls each day, those I am bade to kill die. And yet I failed. How? Why? With each dig site you attacked, each loyal soldier you killed, this pestering doubt grew. It grew when High Priest Bahavas went missing. And when the true Sun King Itamen was snatched away. It not only grew, but multiplied. I kept thinking of the moment my knife pierced your throat. One twist, a simple tug of the blade, and you would have bled out. In slaughter, I am a practiced hand. So why hesitate? Why fail my destined purpose?
He's got a collar filled with, made of bullets. Ugh. Oh crap, he's stripped me of all my equipment.
See that scar on your cheek? You didn't get to finish.
Yes, I remember. He fought well. For a savage.
His name was Rost, and he was a better man than you could ever hope to be.
The better man is the one who doesn't end up with his guts steaming on the ground. No, it wasn't him. I could have finished you before he attacked. But I didn't. This failing troubled my thoughts. Haunted every step. It was only when I captured you, down in that place, that I finally glimpsed the sun's design etched at length across the course of events. You were meant to survive that day on the mountain. Meant to interfere at dig sites and kill my men. Meant to eliminate High Priest Bahavas. Meant to snatch Itamen away. Conversely, I was meant to capture you. Here. So that you might die as a sacrificial offering to the sun. Everything as it was meant to be. Predestined and preordained.
So it took into account that I rescued Itamen and got rid of Bahamas and all that. You're a puppet, you're a fool, you're a thug.
Some destiny. You're following orders, not some grand cosmic design. You're a puppet, with Hades yanking the strings. A pawn pushed around by larger forces. It'd be laughable if there weren't so much killing involved. Hades is an ancient machine, not the buried shadow of Karja myth. It doesn't care about Meridian. It wants to kill everything and everyone. And you are its dutiful slave.
I serve not the buried shadow, but the sun in shadow. All halves of nature joined to one cause. Shadow to sun, dark to light.
Do you really not hear how ridiculous that sounds? You've gone from serving an insane homicidal Sun King to an insane homicidal machine. You're moving down in the world, not up.
I'll remember those words as I watch your corpse burn. Whatever's left of it. You fail to grasp the point. As surely as you've been conquered, so has all doubt. And with certainty of belief comes unstoppable force.
Then get this cage and put your faith to the test. See if things work out like you expect.
The circle has closed. Every element is in its proper place, exactly where it belongs. The errant beast, now caged, will serve her true purpose. A sacrificial animal. Oh, speaking of sacrifice, I forgot to tell you. After you crashed the Eclipse network, I sent messengers into the east to rally the forces there and mount an invasion of the sacred land. I ordered every Nora killed. I was hoping to catch you there, but alas, it all seems to have been unnecessary.
They cast me out. Need the slaughter. They're irrelevant.
The Nora cast me out at birth. You're not hurting me if you hurt them.
Really? Then it makes no difference one way or another. In any case, I couldn't recall the order even if I wished to. Thanks to your destruction of the network, communication over distances is impossible. You not only doomed yourself, but an entire tribe. Do we not see the scorching judgment of the sun in these events? Your focus. Such a powerful device, isn't it? And yet, so fragile.
Ah.
So you see, this time, I did not hesitate. The knife has already been twisted.
Uh-oh. Coliseum time. I knew it.
Karja faithful, rejoice! Our years in shadow are over. A new dawn trembles on the horizon. A new day soon to break. And when it does, the false Sun King will be dead, and Holy Meridian ours once more. In this, I have become an instrument of prophecy. All halves of nature join to one cause. Shadow to sun, light to dark, night to day. Behold!
Scarabs.
Hold your seats! Can you not see the proof of the sun's blessing before your eyes? How else could shadows such as these prowl in broad light of day? Were they not approved by the sun and joined to our cause? Many years ago, to consecrate this great ring, the Radiant Turan ordered many faithless crushed beneath the hooves of the behemoth. Mighty is the behemoth in the eyes of the sun, but it is mightier still, infused with the power of shadow. Let this one, who schemed and slithered, be the first to die. Let her be the first of thousands!
Oh no. Are we not entertained? What do I do?
I'll never beat that thing without weapons. My weapons are up on the platform. There's no way out of this ring. Maybe I could use its strength against it. That makes a mess. That pillar's weak. Another hit? I wasn't built to take a behemoth's charge either.
Get the pillars to come down, huh?
Gotta get out of the way. That did it. One more pillar and that platform will come down. And my weapons will. Gotta get out of the way. He's coming.
Get the stop. Get the stop. Cure's fast. Are you not entertained?
Guess who got our weapons back? Now you're just a big dumb target. Come and get it! Freeze canister on its head. Call it arrow should set it off. That canister on its belly. Looks important. Those components on the sides of its head. They've got something to do with its lift attacks.
One behemoth down.
Silence! Shadows, kill her.
Oh no.
Kill her!
Why leave it to them? Come get me yourself!
Reinforcements. Ah. He knows him. He knows how to control them. Yeah, he said he used to work with the Eclipse, so that's why he does know they know each other. And he knows how to control machines.
So you're here. Really here. You risked your life.
Of course I did. If you'd been killed, Venora's sacred mountain would never have given up its secrets.
Too bad you wasted your time, then. Helis destroyed my focus. And the Alpha Registry with it.
Not at all. The whole time I've been monitoring your focus, I duplicated every data file you scanned. Installing that data to a new focus was trivially easy. Happy birthday, Isaac. Daddy sure does love his little big man.
You're really good at making it impossible to like you, Silence. But I guess I need this.
It's time to see where you were born. Maybe you'll even learn why.
Yeah. Meet the machine that birthed me into this world. Isn't that how you put it?
I'll be off.
Wait.
Yes?
How did you track my location when I wasn't wearing a focus?
Really, Aloy? It doesn't take a genius to surmise that Helis would throw you into the sun ring at high noon. I wore out 2 striders getting here in time, but I did. Now be on your way.
Since when can you override machines?
Ever since you discovered the technique. I had to destroy a corruptor to obtain the necessary parts, of course.
Yeah,
Your example showed me how to do that as well. Yet another benefit of monitoring your activities through your focus. Truth be told, the underlying logic of the technique isn't so different from rites practiced by Banuk shamans, though of course, far more advanced.
Great. You're welcome, I guess.
Yeah, they took the little controller thingamajig off the side and repurposed it.
Helis recognized you back in the Sun Ring. You told me that you'd assisted the Eclipse. Not that you knew the man who killed who almost killed me.
So now you know. The man is a serious threat. So let's do all we can to make sure that he and Hades don't succeed.
Right. I'll be on my way. To make matters worse, Helis ordered an Eclipse detachment to attack the Nora Sacred Land. The tribe's already weak. They won't stand a chance. You should come with me.
Well, absolutely not. I have preparations to make elsewhere.
What kind of... Why do I bother asking? You're not gonna tell me.
When the time is right, I'll be in touch. I'll contact you later. In the meantime, should you need to return to Shadow Karja territory, I brought armor to conceal your identity.
Really?
You think of everything, don't you?
One of us has to. Aloy, when you were recovering the Alpha Registry down in the Zero Dawn bunker, I was needlessly cruel. For your sake, I hope there is someone waiting there for you inside the mountain. Not a what, but a who. Yeah!
And there he goes. Well, we did get to fight in the Coliseum after all. Okay, wait a minute. There was machine parts sitting right there for whatever reason. Part of the Nora. So we fought a behemoth. I'm guessing that was supposed to be the first time we technically fought one, but... Well, I already did a long time ago. Shadow Stalwart. Does this mean we get a new armor set? And we can level up. I either want Scavenger, Mount Repair, or Combat Override. I'll do combat override. And mount repair. So we gotta get back to Nora Land. Okay. So if we ever head back to Shadow Karja areas like Sunfall, or the Kestrel Perch, or Shafe, whatever, we wear that so no one attacks me. So we found the main facility of Zero Dawn. And all the files associated with it. But now, Helis is attacking the old neighborhood. And we gotta go back there. Well, ain't that something? Well, manual save. Alrighty then, so that was a long part. We started off with doing the Queen's Gambit, which ended up being one of two side quests that actually did kind of play into everything. I want to say you could have done this and Trader's Bounty after doing that stuff with the Colosseum and whatnot, but the fact that I actually did do it beforehand, and the game had dialogue where, yeah, you did all this stuff beforehand, I actually appreciate that. It does. I don't think the game has very much bearing on player choice as much as I think it wants me to think it does, but I do appreciate that it takes that into consideration. At least that's from what I've seen anyway. Anyway. Besides that, you know, we went, and then after that we went inside the ruin there, which got everyone's attention due to the vent getting, you know, pretty much making so much noise and blowing smoke out. Blowing hot air out, which attracted everyone. And yeah, we learned what everything is, and the internet connection quality is not sufficient to broadcast gameplay, but that's okay because I am done anyway. So my PlayStation 4 Pro's little hissy fit is for naught. So yeah, main mission done, side mission before that done, and we did the Colosseum. So yeah, just like I thought. Yeah, it was just like I thought would happen. I predicted it a mile away. But now he's attacking. And my old focus was destroyed, sadly enough, the one I've had since childhood, so I got a new one. But he's attacking the Nora, so I gotta head back there. I'll probably save time by fast travel. I'll either use the Strider and walk all the way, or save time and maybe probably spawn around here, I suppose. And then work my way down, so that way I can get, if there's any extra dialogue, I'll hear it. Otherwise, just, you know, head down and head to Allmother, where we couldn't go before. So yeah, that pretty much does it for this bit of Horizon Zero Dawn. Pretty lengthy, all things considered, but very decent level. And even if it mostly was just walking through a decrepit old cave, well, old facility buried underground anyway, I mean to say, with a little bit of fighting. So, yeah, when I come back tomorrow, we'll continue into back to the Sacred Lands. Hopefully the Nora will actually be fucking grateful of my existence for once, outside of maybe 3 people. And you know, we'll give them a what for, whichever comes first.
Another day. What'll this one hold?
Yeah, story of my life, Aloy. So, yeah, that'll do it. I got nothing else to say, so one revelation answered, another waiting in the next ruin. So I'll be back tomorrow with more, and y'all have a good day. Peace out. And by good day, I mean good night.